let's talk about a really nice way to call people to repentance. I am Father Mark Mary with the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal, and this is Ascension Presents. We have a tradition in our friaries, which I think we took from some covenant communities, some charismatic communities, which indirectly is the most convicting experience I have every year in my life. And what we call this tradition is honorings. Okay, now bear with me. Honorings are this way of celebrating the other brothers in our house. So for us, we celebrate our brothers' feast days. For a lot of people, it could be their birthdays, it could be their baptismal day, it could be their feast day. You choose. And what we do in the friary on a brother's feast day is we all go around and we honor the brother. We kind of encourage him, we thank him for some sort of virtue, something he's doing in the friary, some way, we just thank him for being a brother and a friend. And I think this is a really great, actually, practice for families. And so I'm going to go into the practicals of it and then talk about why it is also the best thing that we do for calling somebody to repentance, okay? And so again, you get your family, you get all around, you have your dinner. It could be your roommates, it could be those you're in community with, right? So it's their feast day or it's their birthday. Everybody goes around and honors. Often what we'll do is we'll actually leave sort of the person with the last word to the most senior. So in our situation, it's who's in charge of the house. It could be the parents, right? And there's some way in which they kind of get to have the final word. And it's just this really beautiful way of creating space to celebrate and speak truth into the life of our brother or our sister, right? And another kind of great component of it is oftentimes you might actually have tension with this person. And so it can actually be just a very kind of organic or real way in which, okay, I'm going to honor this person and we're going to have this moment together. It's going to be in public. But it's also going to sort of ease the tension, which happens a lot. And so one of the things though, in the honoring that you want to do is you want to make sure that you're honoring that person. You're pointing out, you're encouraging for something that they actually want to be encouraged about, right? Because there can be a temptation to maybe just kind of say the same thing that everybody's saying, or something that they kind of already know, they're just naturally good at, but it's not that deep for them, right? So maybe somebody just really is a really good artist, and it's just something they have, and it's something that they're able to do, and it's okay, it's something I do, it's not who I am, right? If everyone goes around your paintings or your music or all of that are just so beautiful and you're so gifted, that could actually leave them kind of almost feeling a little bit more empty. But it's hey, you know what? You're just a really good brother or sister. You're really patient, really kind. I'm really grateful for the way in which you are free and give me freedom. So you want to make sure that you're encouraging them for something that actually matters to them. And so doing a little bit of work, praying for them, sometimes maybe having a word for them, but making sure that what we honor them for is something, again, that they also want to be kind of honored for. An example of this is one of our very first videos. I think it's called How to Say Goodbye. Again, this is going back 4 years ago in our very first series of Ascension Presents videos. One of the brothers who we went through seminary with, Father Francesco, after he was being ordained, was moving to Europe, and so we haven't actually seen him since 2018. And so one of the things we did on the video is we honored him, so that could be something that you can go back to and check out as a reference. But here's this other component of it, right? And why I do think it's a really good practice. Number one, to honor the person and to have them this kind of special moment that's more than just a gift. It's more than just a cake and a song. To really kind of let them feel seen and loved. Is you go around and you do this, and indirectly everybody who also is at the table is getting called to repentance if you're doing it right, at least that's the experience for me, where maybe you'll have a brother or you'll have a roommate or you'll have a sibling who you're just very different from, right? And it's bro, you're always so patient. I never feel I am when I know you're really busy and I'm coming to you with all these questions, and I never feel like a burden. I never feel like you're being rushed. I always feel loved and seen. And you're always, when you come in and the poor are there, you always just stop what you're doing. And for me, who struggles with this, because I have so much going on, I'm always running over the place. Every time these guys get honored, I'm oh man, I am not doing that well at all. Or all the sort of things, we're spotlighting this virtue, which is a really beautiful and good thing to do. But again, like indirectly, and in a way which is like real, because it's not like an attack. There's a lot of freedom in it, and it's kind of gentle. It is incredibly fruitful for calling everybody else on to a deeper conversion. And so I can't recommend this enough. Like honoring and having the practice of honoring, again, in your families. It could be on your teams. It could be in your youth ministry. It could be like with your roommates. If you're in religious life. It's an incredible way to make sure that the different people we're living with feel seen and feel loved. But also, it's this really safe and effective way to call people on to repentance. So just encourage you to pray with it. Again, if you want to check out our original video where we did it as kind of like a model to get a little bit more sense of things. But I hope you practice it. And this is one of those videos that I know for a lot of people, it may not resonate, but if a few people actually start to practice this in their families, it's going to have an incredible impact. So I'm very excited about that. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, we are pilgrims on this earth. Somos peregrinos, poco a poco, little by little. Vamos a llegar. All right, God bless y'all. We'll see you again next week.